Conwy round 2. This is a very interesting tip with Belfast and Holyhead competing for the airwaves, and also some strange weather forecasting which is from Holyhead, which kept on changing channels, which you had to keep up with. Every 5 minutes they would change the channel that they were broadcasting on, but really interesting. And we had 2 pan notifications, 1 Mayday, and lots of dolphins on the way back. I hope you enjoy it. It's quite a lengthy one, but you know, it's like anything else, it's sailing. Another trip to Conwy Beans. Have our porridge. And then we set off. Still dark. Just getting light now. So just coming up to 5:30. And then we're off to Conwy. All the roads are pretty. Misty over in Wales. There's our mooring. Sunrise over D Sailing Club. There's the service boats going out. We're having them a race really. And we're winning. No, we're not. We're winning. Just passing the point of air now. So, the sun's getting there. Very cloudy. Hardly any wind though, unfortunately. Expected a bit more wind than this. There we have the Leaning Tower of Points of Air. It's quite an angle that now. Eat your heart out. That should be saying eat your heart out, Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Fishing boat. Not more cool now about when I should do it.
Yeah. 8012, and we're just passing Talaka, good old Talaka there. Not much wind at all, although it's supposed to be forecast for force 3 to 4. We should be so lucky, I suppose. But anyway, quite nice, lovely warm day. So it should be good. Well, it's 9:30 and we're finally on the sail, full sail. That's quite nice there. Not doing too badly. A reasonable breeze here. Good to have the engine off. Just coming up to London now, it's getting a bit hazy, but we're still on the sail and we're doing 3 knots. Running very close to the window, trying to get round the arm at the moment. Well, trying to head so that we can get round the arm. As I say, just coming level with London now. As we peel off, go around the arm. It's now 10:23, so we're making good progress at the moment. Hopefully this continues and we'll be able to sail all the way. Good wind now, we're having to tack, we're not going quite the way we would like to at the moment. But the wind is good and it's sailing along nicely.
to 5 knots on occasions. Mainly sticking to around 4 knots. But, yeah, nice sailing. Well, here we are. What a beautiful sight. We just entered the fog bank. Now we're sailing blind. Hopefully going round the Great Orme and not into it. Let's keep an eye on that now. The sun is just about going through the fog. We thought this would have been burnt off a long time ago, but unfortunately it's getting worse. Get better. Good experience.
It's quite cool as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is cold. Freezing fog. Not quite. It's quite cool though. Making sure we go around the Great Orme and not into it.
We'll go out there.
12:15 and the fog is in. Fog's lifted now and we can see the Orme. Still under engine. I think we'll be under engine all the way around the Orme now because the wind's virtually died. Back on the sail now, the fog's virtually lifted and we've been given our instructions to go to Gulf 29 in the marina and we can enter at about 15:49. So we're just taking it easy at the moment. Hardly any wind, but we stopped the engine because we got bags of time and we're actually in Conwy Bay at the moment. Quite nice now. It's quite warm now the sun's come through the fog. It's quite bitter in the fog, but and we've got reasonable views. Well, we've entered the channel now into Conwy and we're just making our way. Lots of boats going in ahead of us. Well, they were behind us, but we're on the sail and they're all motoring in. Many boats, in fact. Looks like it's going to be packed. There's about 5, 6 out there and there's about 7, 8 ahead of us at the moment. But it's quite a long distance down the channel. It's about an hour to Conwy from here, but we're just sailing in, taking it easy because the gates don't open till another half hour anyway, so and rather get involved in all the melee trying to moor, we'll just cruise in slowly. There's inundation with flies at the moment all the way across the boat, all over us as we approach Conwy, and then all the boats ahead of us. So we're just coming in now and it's now 5 to 4. Not bad timing at all. 29, if we can find it. We've just been down the wrong aisle through my fault, but we should find this one hopefully.
Day 2, and the moon is out and it's about 5:45, so we're just getting up, ready to set back, get a wash and a shave, and then we can head back.
Our second day, 6 o'clock, and we're going to be moving out. Just going to the morning ablutions and then we'll be away. So far a reasonable wind from what I can gather, and with a bit of luck we should be able to sail back, comfortably sail back. No way, it's not deep now. Lovely boat. hornblower. My favourite boat, the Nauticat. Beautifully styled, beautifully made. That's what is really cool about. This is a fantastic boat though. The quality of that is just immense. It's yellow. And we're underway. Beautiful morning. Forecast 3 most of the morning with fog patches, and going to 2 to 4 with rain later. Marina, lights are on green so we can go. It's a good job because we've got to go anyway. We say goodbye and thank you, Conwy. Thank you for your hospitality. Quarter to 8 and the tide's turned. We're now on the sail, engine's off for a while, hopefully, for a long while. We're doing about 3 knots, just coming up to the end of the arm. And hopefully we'll have a strong passage, although the wind might be against us on the way back. So we'll have to do a lot of tacking, but as long as we've got a reasonable wind, that's not going to be a problem. There's a great arm. We rounded the arm, as they say, and we're heading down. Unfortunately, we're back under engine because there's hardly any wind. But hopefully we should be okay.
Coming round the arm, the wind died completely, sheltered by the arm, we presume. But actually getting to it, we got some real strong gusts that took us past 8 knots of sailing, and the boat was keeled right over, and the cooker came adrift and the kettle all over the floor, but it was good. We enjoyed it, and then it settled down again.
9:20 and we have company. He's on the motor, by the way, but we're sailing. We're only doing just 2 knots, but it's really nice, relaxed, although we do need to make sure we make up the time. It's now 10:40. You can hardly see Wales, quite misty. It looks like we're going to be approaching another fog bank. We're back on the sail. We had an engine on for about 20 minutes or so, but we're doing 2.3 on the sail against the tide, so it's not too bad. And yeah, it's still quite nice, reasonably warm, although the wind's quite cold, and it looks like we've got a fog bank approaching us slowly, and we possibly are heading into one as well. So yeah, it's going to be one of those cold and not very nice sailing conditions through the fog again. Hey people!
And just when we thought it was going to get really boring, a pod of dolphins decided to join us. We were absolutely amazed. Excellent. They stayed with us for 28 minutes. I'm going to cut some of this, so save you watching all 28 minutes. But what is important to say, we couldn't work out whether it was the same pod going back round us over and over again, or whether it was multiple pods just passing us by, because they weren't doing anything fancy. They were just going up and down. Lee took some cracking photos of them underneath the boat and coming towards us, but overall it was brilliant to watch them. They were just unbelievable. While watching the dolphins, it may be a good time to tell you some of the funny things that happened to us. Going into Conwy Marina, we went onto channel 80, which is the designated channel for Conwy Marina, called them up on the radio and got no answer. A few minutes later, we got an answer back on a second radio that we had that was tuned to channel 80, but not the one I originally called them on. So I then called them back on the radio that they called on, and they couldn't hear me. So I had to use the one that I used before, which then they heard me, but I couldn't hear them, so I had to use the other one. So I had to have two radios, one to call on and one to listen on, both tuned to channel 80. That was a very strange occasion. And our main radio, which was also tuned to channel 80, didn't get anything. Throughout the whole trip, we constantly got weather forecasts. I've never had so many weather forecasts from Holyhead Coast Guard. And first they'd say, go to channel 72. So we go to channel 72, and then a few minutes later on channel 16, bear in mind, so if you only have one radio, you'd be, or didn't have dual watch, you wouldn't know anything about this. But they come back on channel 16 and say, weather forecast now on channel 73. So we go to channel 73 and it'd be all quiet. And then they come back on a few minutes later on channel 16 and say, go to channel 74. So we go to channel 74 and it was still all quiet. So we then come down through the channels and there they are broadcasting on channel 73. And that happened regularly throughout the weekend. It was so funny. And then we get Belfast giving us from the Great Orme and the Irish Sea, and giving us totally different forecasts from Holyhead Coast Guard. It was such hilarious time listening to the Coast Guard giving weather instructions. Everything else was fine. They were excellent, and it is a good service. And generally, the forecasts were correct.
Yeah. Go on, jump. Up. 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 Well, there's lots of them in there. Look at that. There's loads of them. Hi. Hi. Whoa! Say, I think they've gone. They come back. I don't believe that at all, you know. Yeah. You like apples? I don't know whether you like apple or not. Yeah. Dolphins, which was just seen. It's been quite an eventful trip. and at the moment we're heading towards the Point of Ayr, which is about 10 mile away. We're making good time, although we're only doing about 3 knots at the moment, but it's quite good. Visibility is, well, as you see, can't see very much, but it's about 5 miles, 6 mile visibility, something like that. Slightly earlier than we were last time, and back here on the day, we're slightly ahead of time. Cocklers are still out by the looks of it. They're still on the sandbank, and we're coming in slowly. Been underway, under sail for well, all day really, with only about an hour of engine coming out of Conwy and about 20 minutes going past Llandudno, and the rest of it has been silent sailing, and it's been lovely. We've averaged about 3.1, we've averaged about 2 knots, I would say, in calm situations, but then we've gone up to 4 knots in some places as well. We're drawing 15 feet of water at this moment in time, and we're just over the main bed. You can see though it's quite ripply, so it might get shallow very quick. Those ripples there that we think are the sandbank, so we think we're going to beach in a minute. But we'll see. We're coming in, and it's now 5 o'clock, so we've got 3 hours to go before high tide.
Beautiful colours as we enter as we make our way towards the moorings. Behind us, the sun is setting, and the colours changing there is just exceptional. What a beautiful sight. Lovely, lovely views from the Wirral, especially over to Wales when the sun is setting.
Entering the moorings now, and we have a guest by the looks of it. Big boat. There's all the other boats neatly packaged away. The Nobby. Baby Jane. Salt and Spirit. And our new mooring buddy. Sandpiper over there. Bronwyn, Puffin, Tarka, Gizmo, Dawn Mist, coming out to Wild Magic. Good old Bronwyn. Sea Lion, Henrietta, Clearwater, Kingfisher.
Fantastic day sail from Conwy. Thanks to Lee and Sienna, the boat we were in, Lee's boat. It was an excellent day and an excellent weekend.